Besides being for a long time the richest and most powerful man in the world, Bill Gates is also an ordinary man who loves to live his life enjoying his money. But have you ever stopped to wonder how this billionaire lives? In this video, you will find out what the luxurious life of Bill Gates is like. Before we get started, I challenge you. You have to click on subscribe and activate notifications, check the option all. But you have to do that in less than 5 seconds. You got it? And if you can, write in the comments #AllAboutSubscribe. Alright, let's get started. Career. Born in 1955 in the city of Seattle, Washington State, William Henry Gates, better known as Bill Gates, is considered to be one of the richest and most powerful men on the planet. Being the son of a lawyer and a teacher, Bill Gates, although not born into a wealthy family, had the opportunity to study in good schools, which enabled him to have access to the first computers of the time from a very early age. While studying at the prestigious Harvard University, he and his friend Paul Allen founded Microsoft, one of the first companies in the world focused on computer programs. The business worked so well that at the age of 31 he was already a billionaire, a record among young billionaires at the time. However, in 1995, at the age of 40, Bill Gates became the richest man in the world, a position he held for almost 2 decades. Since 2006, Gates has increasingly focused on social programs, devoting most of his time to helping the underprivileged. And because he was one of the people responsible for the computer revolution, today Bill Gates is considered one of the most important men in the world. Mansion. Being one of the richest and most powerful people in the world, it is to be expected that Bill Gates owns some real mansions. He once owned, for example, a mansion of almost 9,600 square feet, which has a very sophisticated classical architecture. The property, which is located in the Hobe Sound region of Florida, is immersed in nature, being surrounded by a forest and being near a lake. And according to some sources, Gates sold the house in 2018 for about $4 million. Raising the price up further, he owns a huge 13,500 square feet house in Indian Wells, California. It is known that he acquired the property in 1999, paying about $12,500,000. However, in 2013 he purchased a mansion in the luxury condominium of Mallet Hill Court in Wellington, Florida. And he liked the place so much that he decided to buy in 2016 another even more luxurious neighboring mansion. The interior of the mansions is very comfortable, with large rooms and spaces, besides having a beautiful outdoor area, something very common in country houses like these. And to acquire these 2 properties, Gates paid more than $22 million. However, in 2020, the billionaire decided to invest in a spectacular beach house located north of San Diego in Del Mar, California. With contemporary architecture, this seaside masterpiece was designed by super-renowned architects, and it is no wonder that the house is considered one of the most beautiful in the city. The interior of the property is 5,800 square feet and is divided into 6 luxurious bedrooms. And like every beachside mansion, there is an outdoor area with lots of armchairs and a beautiful view to the ocean, definitely a perfect place to have parties. And as reported in the media, to acquire the property, Gates had to cash out no less than $43 million. But without a doubt, his most famous property is the one titled Xanadu 2.0, named after a house from the 1941 movie Citizen Kane, which makes us think it must be his favorite movie. The billionaire's estate is located in Medina, Washington State. And although there is not so much information about the mansion, it's known that it is gigantic, having more than 65,000 square feet, and having taken more than 7 years just to be finished. Being built from wood, the highest quality trees were used, such as pine trees that are more than 500 years old. But besides being a mansion with a strong presence of nature, it is clear that because it belongs to the founder of Microsoft, the property has a lot of technology, being all automated with sensors that change the lighting and temperature in every corner of the house. To get an idea, it is estimated that more than 100 electricians worked on its construction, so you can imagine how technological it is on the inside, can't you? And as a book lover, Gates has an incredible library that contains the most unique books in the world, such as the Leonardo da Vinci manuscripts that cost him almost $31 million. And to build this amazing mansion, Bill Gates had to invest a real fortune. According to some sources, he spent about $63 million, but according to real estate market estimates, the mansion should currently cost about $127 million. Cars! There is no doubt that Bill Gates has more than enough money to buy the best cars in the world, but did he decide to do it? For day-to-day use, for example, he has been spotted in a Ford Focus, a simple car, but one that can meet the billionaire's commuting needs. The price of the vehicle is around $25,000. Raising the price, he once owned a 1979 Porsche 911, a Gates vehicle that was auctioned off in 2012 for about $80,000. Bill also once owned a Ferrari 348, an older Ferrari model but one that can still be found costing around $150,000. These days he prefers less polluting cars, which is why he owns a Porsche Taycan, an all-electric car, but still a super powerful sports car. To get an idea of its speed, it can accelerate from 0 to 60 miles per hour in some unbelievable 3 seconds, and it is no wonder that the latest and most complete models can cost around $200,000. But probably the most expensive car Bill Gates ever owned was a Porsche 959 Sport, a 1980 car that at its launch was considered one of the best of its time. And because it is a rare and exclusive vehicle, its price can come to surpass $1 million. Jet. The man who topped the list of the richest people in the world for many years could not help but to have a private plane at his disposal. And that's why Bill Gates owns a Bombardier BD700 Global Express, a sophisticated, large, high-performance aircraft with intercontinental range, capable of traveling to different continents without the need to stop for fuel. This model of jet has a very sophisticated interior, being able to accommodate up to 18 people in a super comfortable and luxurious way, and can be compared to a 5-star hotel, but in the skies. And for those who want to have this same jet, you must get ready to invest a real fortune. It is estimated that this incredible aircraft costs around $40 million. Luxury shopping. Even though he appears to be a minimalist guy who doesn't care much for luxuries, when it comes to buying what he really likes, Bill Gates doesn't hold back a bit. Being passionate about works of art, he has already invested real fortunes in super exclusive objects that only tycoons like him could afford. Among the million-dollar paintings that Gates has already bought are, for example, William Merritt Chase's The Nursery for $10 million, Child Hassam's Room of Flowers for $20 million, George Bellows' Polo Crowd for $27,500,000, and Winslow Homer's Lost on the Grand Banks for $36 million. In other words, when it comes to investing in works of art, it's hard to beat him, isn't it? Yacht. Because he is a true tycoon, many people speculate how Bill Gates spends his money. In 2020, for example, it came out in the media that Bill Gates would be acquiring the yacht known as Aqua. It is a 350 feet long super yacht powered by hydrogen energy, being the first and only yacht with this technology in the world. The ship has a futuristic design, drawing a lot of attention for its looks. Its interior is capable of offering every imaginable luxury and refinement, providing its passengers with an unimaginable experience. There are luxurious environments on the ship, such as a gym with a view of the sea, massage rooms for relaxing, a heliport for landing helicopters, and even a beautiful swimming pool with an infinity edge capable of impressing anyone. And to own a yacht powered entirely by renewable energy, it is required to cash out a huge amount of money even for billionaires. The vessel is estimated to cost around $644 million. But it is not sure whether Bill Gates really bought it, as soon afterwards reports came out denying that he had purchased the yacht. But there are still many doubts as to whether he is trying to hide this not-so-cheap purchase of his. Donations. Despite being one of the richest men in the world, Bill Gates is not attached to money, proof of which are his billionaire donations. That's right, billionaire with a B. Alongside his ex-wife, he created the Bill and Melinda Gates Foundation, a non-profit organization that fights poverty, disease, and inequality around the world. To give you an idea of how relevant this foundation is, it is estimated that by adding up all the donations ever made, it exceeds the figure of $50 billion. And all this donated money will only continue to grow, as several other billionaires have engaged in the cause by pledging to donate a large part of their fortunes, for example his friend Warren Buffett. And Bill Gates has already said in interviews that he intends to give away most of his fortune when he dies, leaving an inheritance of only $10 million to each son, a very small percentage of his entire net worth. And it is for all this generosity that he is considered one of the world's greatest philanthropists. Fortune. It is not news to anyone that Bill Gates is one of the richest men in the world, possessing a fortune that is almost impossible to spend. To get an idea of the size of the empire he founded, Microsoft is currently none other than the most valuable company in the world, with a market value of approximately $2.5 trillion. And yes, that's correct, you didn't mishear me, trillion with a T. An amount so large it's greater than the GDP of several countries and even major economies such as Spain, Australia, South Korea, Russia, Canada, Brazil, and Italy. This shows how powerful and relevant Bill Gates is in the world, since he has managed to found a company with greater financial potential than great powers. But this does not mean that this is his personal fortune. That's because he only holds 1.3% of the company's shares, which represents something around $30 billion, just a fraction of his entire net worth. Nowadays, most of his money is allocated in other companies than the one he founded. He likes to diversify his investments into dozens of businesses and is one of the largest owners of agricultural land in the US. And according to Forbes magazine, currently his net worth fluctuates around $130 billion, an amount that still manages to be higher than that of some smaller countries such as Ecuador, Angola, and Cuba, besides making him the fourth richest person on the planet. Hey, you like the video? So don't forget about leave your like and comment, and tell some suggestions of another videos, and hopefully we gonna do it. All about channel Dios to satisfy your curiosity.